What? You don't shrimp? What kind of stupid Brave Shift animation is this? Flaring Aether Rain's Trustmaster reward is light armor. Somehow. It has pretty good attack and defensive stats, packs decent fire and dark resistance, boasts a human killer plus, and, well, I guess that's okay. Overall, it's a great Trustmaster reward. His Super Trustmaster reward is the Edge Sword 1. The attack isn't the best, but it is still good. The Ultra Beast Killer is great when it's useful, and above all else, it gives this specific Rain here 500 extra attack if he's the one holding it. Unfortunately, holding 2 of these won't give double that last passive, but that's what Edge Sword 2 is for. On to his active abilities. Enfaraga imbues fire onto your team, and buffs their fire damage by 35%. Outdoor Leader will boost your team stats by 250%. True Undermine inflicts an 85% full break. Blaze Saber imbues fire onto your team and hits all enemies, chaining with Stardust Ray. Elemental Burst, Fire, is unlocked at EX+2. It can only be used once per battle, but boosts Rain's fire damage by a tremendous 150%. Prominence Fall deals fire damage at Chains of Absolute Mirror of Equity, and inflicts a 120% fire imperil. Pulverizing Force hits all enemies and Chains of Bolting Strike. Fill Limit Burst fills his naked body. The Freedom That I Believe In will boost Rain's fire damage by 40%, his attack by 250%, and his Limit Burst damage by 200%. Passives. With his Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, Rain gains 1000 extra attack and the Omni Killer. He may look like he already has that, but that's also stuck behind EX+2. Even at base though, he does get a massive boost to his Limit Burst damage, and a nice boost for his Limit Burst gauge fill rate. He is finally a dual wielder that prefers to dual wield, not only receiving the full Captain to Chain limit boost, but an additional passive that lets him overshoot it, giving him an extra 200% over everyone else. He also has Preemptive Limit Burst boost, which will boost the damage modifiers of his Limit Burst, but this temporary buff will disappear after the first 5 turns. He also has this auto ability which will remove most status ailments at the end of every turn. His normal attack has been changed to attack, filling his Limit Burst gauge by 1/10. At EX+2 he gets Omni Killer +1, Warring Spirit, 500 attack, oh and this one new global thing called the Strength of Whales. The Strength of Naked Whales will automatically activate at the start of every turn, boosting the damage modifier of both Pulverizing Force and his Brave Shift's Limit Burst. This boost will scale with morale. It also fills the morale gauge because it wasn't awesome enough. What? It's not enough? Okay, give him another morale ability. If you have morale, Rain will have access to a single use of Grace of Will. This ability will boost your team stats by 350%, their Limit Burst damage by 300%, buffs their elemental damage by 45%, and fills the morale gauge. Let's look at this Limit Burst. It inflicts a 130% fire imperil, an 80% defense break, gives Rain a laughable self buff, and deals good fire damage. Time to change forms. Flaring Aether Rain's Brave Shift has a 5-turn duration and a 4-turn cooldown. Onto his active abilities. In this form, Rain loses his full Naked Burst and his Freedom, in exchange for some other cool stuff. The Bashes can only be used twice per battle, and can't be multicasted with anything. Glacial, Lightning, and Lithos each deal Ice, Lightning, and Earth damage respectively. Armor, Grant Me Power, will boost Rain's fire damage by 40%, his attack by 300%, his Limit Burst damage by 250%, and oh, there's his full Naked Burst. Unyielding Conviction will give Rain himself a powerful beast and human killer. Passives. In this form, Rain loses the boost to his Limit Burst gauge fill rate. In exchange, his glowing armor will absorb fire damage. Let's look at his Limit Burst. It inflicts a 40% sword imperil and deals big fire damage that gets stronger if you use it again. Time to talk about leader skills. Rain's leader skill will affect both fire and units from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, boosting their attack and magic by 500% and their defense and spirit by 200%. More on that later. Let's rank Brave abilities. I'd prioritize Aether Reef Sword to make it much easier to build him. Raising Prominence Fall will just boost its damage modifier. Time to make a damage rotation. On turn 1, cast the Freedom That I Believe In, fill Limit Burst, and True Undermine if you need the breaks. On turn 2, activate his Brave Shift, and use his Limit Burst. On turn 3, cast Armor, Grant Me Power, and double cast Prominence Fall. If you happen to have a morale advantage, then Pulverizing Force will be better. You can exchange the latter for any of his buffs here should they be effective. On turn 4, use his Limit Burst. On turn 5, triple cast Prominence Fall. Hopefully you've got his Limit Burst filled again for one last use on turn 6, but with his bare bones, it's likely another triple cast here. You're forced back to his base form, so focus on twiddling his thumbs, filling his Limit Burst gauge, and waiting for his armor to glow once more. So, EX2? Yeah, look at all the stuff you get. The Grandest Burst is as impressive as always, the premium Japanese stuff makes him easier to build, and the Strength of Whales makes you feel like a whale. Maybe, I don't know, I don't have it. Jokes aside, he's already one of the strongest damage dealers outside of morale fights, and now he'll also be one of the best in them as well. EX plus 3 is his premium vision card. Since you no doubt have both Dioxys and Lastwell's vision cards, you no doubt know no doubt how no doubt good no doubt this no doubt is no doubt. It's pretty good, boasting the best stats and great limit burst damage boost, though these passes will only affect fire units. Which is Rain here. But is this expensive? Yeah. So how good is Flaring Aether Rain? Well, believe it or not, he's actually pretty bad. Bad at being bad, that is, because he makes everyone else look bad instead. Rain has one thing no one else has, a chain cap multiplier of 8. Because you don't know what I'm talking about, the normal chain cap multiplier is 4. To set them aside from double hand, dual wielding units were able to go up to 6. Until double hand units got jealous and can now get that too. But now, dual wielding Rain here edges everyone out by 8. I wonder if there's a pattern here. Regardless, this is the big thing at play, and is what lets Rain edge out his brother, despite the latter's larger damage modifier. Nevertheless, over 500 is a very impressive benchmark, and even after the first 5 turns, he's still a premium unit. Interestingly, you'd be a bit hard-pressed to tell that from his kit stats, but it just goes to show the base kit isn't everything. Speaking of which, though his best is Lock to Fire, Rain's got those grandest choices if he's leadering another squad. Unfortunately, these modifiers aren't amazing, a bit weaker than Dioxys' own Amoral Fang, and definitely inferior to his preferred Limit Burst playstyle, but still a choice all the same. As for support, he's got Fire Imbues and, I guess that's all we're getting from an attacker. But once he's in Morale, he has even more to offer. His damage output is much better, though that's a bit hard to tell when Morale modifiers fluctuate so much because of the original unit kit. However, Rain's Pulverizing Force can become a very impressive tool, and if it's innate flexibility, it's certainly a powerful choice so long as you maintain the morale advantage. Furthermore, with the morale advantage, Rain will have access to a support buff. Now, what Grace of Whales has to offer isn't something we've never seen before, but nevertheless having a powerful support buff on an attacker who's waiting to attack can be an excellent boon, especially when you're seeking to streamline your team. But now to the real support, his leader skill! We've seen the sheer power of 500%, causing one standout units to look on, as everyone else was either boosted to their level or rose even higher. Rain's own leader skill may be equal to Dioxys, but its scope easily eclipses his. Every unit from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius gets the ball, and a few other fire units who aren't from this game I guess, though that part will become important in the future. All Final Fantasy Brave Exvius units is a tremendous category, amplifying powerhouses like Regina or Sky, fan favorites like Riser or Riser, and can let non-premium shock those premium robots. Rain introduces a curve that carries most units to another level, and given the name of the game, he's sure to lead even more. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you summon Flaring Aether Rain, and tell me your progress. Currently, I'm at 0.